Any racists here tonight? A lot of racists have been coming to my show, you guys, believe it or not. I just did a show down in Corpus Christi, and this dude ran up on me after the show. He was like, Jimmy Sheehan, are you related to a Stephen Sheehan? And he shows me this Asian guy's profile pic on his phone. And I'm like, come on, man. There's like a million Shins, all right? All us Asians are not related. Get away from me. You guys, it was my cousin, Stephen Shin. But I didn't want him to think that all us Asians are related. So I did it for the Asians. I did it for us. Assalamu alaikum. Any white people in the audience tonight? You guys act like you never heard that question before. I know it's been a rough couple years for white people, but no matter what you are, you should be proud of it, all right? Let's try this one more time. Where are my white people at? I hate the way you guys talk. It was a trap the whole time. You guys always put stuff at the end of sentences that don't really belong there to make yourself sound smarter and better than us. This one guy I was talking to outside, he was like, I speak in language embellished in each kind of artistic ornament and meaningless chatter, if you will. What's if you will? The sentence is done. Furthermore, that's really annoying. Okay, smart 3 people got that last one. How about my Asians? Where are my Asians at tonight? Oh, come on, you guys. We can do better than that. Like us Asians, we have a stereotype that we're quiet, we don't make no noise. So let's try this one more time. Where my Asians at? I see you, my ninjas. I love my Asian people, don't get me wrong, but I hate when Asians come fresh off the boat, come over here from like Korea, and all of a sudden they want you to call them Frank. But the real name is like, fuck you. It's like, fuck you, I ain't calling you Frank. You gotta earn it. Asian friend, what is your name? He said his name is Prince. He went straight like the king of pop. He was like, will be called Prince. No one will know I am Asian. Fuck you, I ain't calling you Prince. Let me ask you white people this. When you guys go over to China, do you guys change your names to fit in? Like to suck some? Suck some Johnson, if you will? It's just a thought to ponder on your way home. Actually, that'd be a cool name for a white guy, right? You could mess with people at car dealerships and at nightclubs. They'll be like, suck some Johnson to the DJ booth, please. Suck some Johnson to the DJ booth. I do have a confession for you guys. My real name isn't Jimmy. My real name is Toko. And I had to change it because kids are cruel. So I'd go to school, they'd follow me around, they'd be like, puff, puff, Toko puff. Chocolate tasting Toko puff. So one day I was all upset and I ran home from school. And I looked in the Wikipedia of names, kind of like Prince did. And I said, what name can they not make fun of? So I landed on Jimmy. And the next day I went to school. They were like, Jimmy Shimmy Cocoa Puff, Jimmy Shimmy Pow. Actually, that brings me to a serious subject before I go to more jokes, you guys. There's been a lot of Asian hate going on, a lot of violence around the country. And I just did a fundraiser for Asian hate, and I put a poster up on my Instagram, and someone commented, go back home. Yeah, and I was all upset, and I looked down on the comments, and it was just my mom wanting me to come back home for Christmas. But it was in broken English, so it kind of fucked me up. It's good to be back home, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I used to live right down the street. My parents owned a convenience store, and when they bought it, it was called Chong's Market. But my dad changed the name to Daniel's Market so that people wouldn't know that we were Asian. So that's the kind of logic I've been dealing with. No, I love Tacoma because Tacoma people have a special kind of pride. You know, they're so proud to be from Tacoma, right? Until they go out of town. Then all of a sudden they're from Seattle. Man, I'm old school Tacoma, man. I went to Foss High School. And I remember the hilltop used to be all Crips and Bloods. They used to have cameras up there, and you wouldn't even want to go up there. And now, I can't even afford a house up there, so shit's coming together here. They even got rid of the Tacoma aroma. Or the paper vapor, as they called it. You know, so Tacoma's coming up, so give it up if you're from Tacoma. Love this place. I'm gonna see my parents tomorrow. They couldn't make it out tonight. But it's a mixed bag sometimes because nothing's good enough for my Asian parents, you know? I remember when I went to law school just to please them, and my dad calls me up out of nowhere, and he goes, "Why you no married? Why you no kids? You gay?" And he knew I wasn't gay. He was just trying to manipulate me into getting married to prove I'm not gay, which is the exact kind of Korean logic I've been dealing with my whole life. And when I was a kid, I remember they were like, "Marry a nice Korean girl so we could talk to her." And then when I got in my 20s, they were like, "Marry any Asian girl. Vietnam, Philippines, Japan, anything okay." And recently they were like, "Marry any girl. White, black, anything okay." So I'm marrying a trans woman. No, on the serious tip, I'm in an interracial relationship, you guys, with a white woman. Yeah, I got me a white woman. And when we go out, people are always like, "You're gonna have such cute kids. You're gonna have such cute kids." Well, first of all, you don't know that, all right? And second of all, I think it's because they focus on the most positive attributes of each race. Take, for instance, Tiger Woods. They're always like, he's got the athleticism of an African American, and he's got the intelligence of an Asian. That's why he's so good. That's why he's so good. Well, also about a year ago, he wrecked his car by himself with no other cars on the road and flipped it, which is obviously Asian. I knew you'd laugh at that, you racist. And he had 21 mistresses come forward. 21, you guys remember that? Which is obviously the male race. You guys thought I was gonna say something else, you racists. I got controlling parents. Anybody else got controlling parents? I think Asian parents are more controlling than white parents are. You know, and they worry a lot more. Like, white parents don't even know that you've been stripping for like 5 years. You know what I mean? They're like, "She was just bringing home so much cash. We didn't investigate." Of course she drives a brand new Lexus coupe working at Red Robin 12 hours a week, if you will. I talked to my white friend the other day, and he said he hadn't talked to his parents in like 3 months. You guys, if I don't talk to my parents in like 2 days, they're calling all my friends. One time, they even called my weed dealer. How the hell did she get the number for my weed dealer? You guys, moms know everything. They know when you're doing that blow. They know when you're doing that hoe. And they know that you're jerking off when you have your bedroom door locked, all right? It just happened to me about a week ago. And when I was a kid, man, we didn't have good technology, you know? How many of you guys remember cassette tapes? Okay, now we know who the old people are. And then, we had cassette tapes, and we would have all our favorite songs. We didn't have like Spotify with millions of songs you can download. We had one cassette tape with all our favorite songs on it, and we called it Prince's Jams. Right? And once in a while, that cassette tape would break, and then what would we do? We would tape it back together. And it would still work. We'd put it in our Walkman, and it'd be like, it's tricky to rock around the... It's tricky. It's tricky, 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 tricky. Woo! And then came the next generation. It was CDs. You guys remember CDs? And then dumbasses like me would do a bunch of coke on it. Be in a car somewhere like, let's do some blow, you know, try it on the console. All rocks are flying everywhere. And dumbasses like me would do a bunch of coke on the CD, and then it would lead to skips. You guys remember it would all skip with all the scratches? And instead of AC/DC, it would just be AC, right? And it would be like, she was a fast machine. It'd be like a DJ with arthritis, if you will. And when we were kids, man, we didn't have good food. They don't have like the fancy cuisines, the good restaurants, the fusions that we have today, right? Like especially white people, you guys had really shitty food. You guys had to put like mayonnaise on Wonder Bread, you know what I mean? You guys had like TV dinners with like Salisbury steak and sizzling and shit. You'd put that shit in the mic and it would blow up. You know? At least Koreans, we had like Korean barbecue and kimchi, which people are finally coming hip to right now, but not in time to save my childhood. And nowadays though, people are hip to kimchi, right? Like if I went out on a date and ate some kimchi, they'd be like, ooh, your breath stinks. Back in the day, right? Nowadays, if you make a girl a fresh homemade bottle of kimchi, they'll be like, oh my God, probiotics, if you will. No one's ever brought me probiotics so that I could shit in the morning. And we had dumb dances too. Man, we had like the Cabbage Patch. The Cabbage Patch dance. And it'd be like, and then the Cabbage Patch on Coke. And then, yeah, we had the Running Man. Like, we were so not creative that we just decided that one of our dances would be running in place. That sounds like a good idea. Let's just... And then, of course, we tried to get a little more creative, and we decided to do the backwards Running Man, right? I'm sweating right now just doing it. And then the Kid and Play. Who remembers the Kid and Play? Where you would just be like... And then at the end of it, you would hook legs and go all the way around. Yeah, we had dumbass dances. And we had 3 things we could watch on TV. We had the 700 Club, we had the Cosby Show, and we had the news. And we didn't want to watch the news because all there was assaults and rapes. And little did we know, we were also watching that on the Cosby Show. Too soon? And my parents, man, they were always watching the 700 Club because they were Christians, and it would brainwash them into thinking that everything bad in the world that happened was because it was the end times, the end of the world, like the Bible says. So I remember the Iraq War happened. They were like, Iraq War, it's the end times, end times. And I'm like, Dad, there's been wars and rumors of wars throughout history. That doesn't mean the end times. And I remember I got a fight at school. They were like, kids fighting in school, it's the end times, end times. And I'm like, Dad, I won that fight. I don't think it's the end of the world quite yet. And then I remember I got one B in a class. And I came home, my dad was like, kids getting B's in school? It's the end times, end times. And I'm like this kid thinking that the world was gonna end. So I started drinking, you guys, when I was like 12. And by the time I found out it was all bullshit, I became a full-blown alcoholic, if you will. And it didn't help that my parents owned a convenience store, Daniel's Market. And we were like the stereotype. It was so embarrassing, you know, because they spoke in this broken English all the time. And what else was embarrassing is my parents were so cheap that they would steal napkins and chopsticks from the local Chinese restaurant for people to use at the store. I think they figured since China invaded Korea that they would invade the Chinese restaurant. Little history lesson for you guys. China and Korea are not the same country. So stop calling me Chinese, motherfuckers. And Prince ain't Chinese either, so stop calling Prince Chinese. And I remember one night, this white dude came and he bought some macaroni salad. Because that's what white people do. They turn carbohydrates into a salad. And he tried to use one of the stolen chopsticks. And he wasn't very good, because he was white. And he wasn't getting much macaroni into his mouth. And out of nowhere, my dad pops up, puts his hand on the guy's shoulder, and he's like, "You want a fork? Why you no fork?" And I've never seen a guy run so fast covering his own ass. All that was left was a trail of wet noodle. And of course, thank you for that. And of course, my dad's a smart ass. He was like, I guess he just wanted the spoon. That one was just for me. Doesn't even matter. But what was cool about my parents owning a convenience store is I could steal liquor and sell it at school. Yeah, I was the #1 retailer at Baker Junior High of Old English 800, St. Ides, Mickey's Big Mouse, Night Train, Mad Dog 2020, and Bartles and James wine coolers for the white girls. You'd be surprised how fast I became the cool guy. The same people that were calling me like Ching Chong Chinaman and Jimmy Shimmy Cocoa Puff, they were like, J-Dog, what up, man? Jimmy S, he knows where the party's at, dude. Come hang with us, man. I remember I started selling weed because I wanted to be the one-stop shop. Because I'm Asian, I turn everything into a business, okay? And then the grams turned into eighths, and the eighths turned into ounces. And when I was a kid, I had a vision board on my wall. And it was my dad's vision board. And it said, Jimmy Shin, attorney at law. I'm all for vision boards, but it has to be your vision board. You know what I mean? If it was Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech, it'd be like, my dad has a dream. But I would look at it and I'd be like, one of these days I'm gonna get to law school. And it worked, you know? But at the same time, my parents raised me in a convenience store. You know what kind of lowlives hang out at the convenience store? People like Prince hang out at the convenience store. You got the pimps, the prostitutes, the drug dealers, and those are just my friends. And I get into law school, right? And I don't know how. Well, I know how, because my dad would have kicked my ass if I didn't get in. I remember when I was a kid, if I didn't listen to my dad or get good grades, my dad would hit me with the love stick. Yeah, on it, it'd be like one side of it said love and the other side said discipline. So to my dad, love was discipline. But at the same time, he taught me Taekwondo. So it'd be like a kind of fucked up karate kid where he'd hit me and I would block it, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. And he'd get so mad because I'd block all the hits, right? I think that's why I didn't learn any discipline, because I blocked them all because of the Taekwondo. And even in law school, man, I was selling like so much weed. It's mind-boggling to think back now. I was selling like 100 packs every few weeks. I mean, that's like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I didn't even blink an eye. And of course, one night, I get a knock on my door, and it was 7 DE agents with guns. The cookie had crumbled, if you will. And I remember going to jail. But that wasn't the worst part of it. The worst part of it was when my parents found out. And my dad calls me up. He goes, "You bring shame to family. Why you do this to us?" And I'm like, "Dad, it's the end times. Everybody's screwing up right now." While I was on probation, I remember I was in outpatient treatment. And for you guys that don't know what goes on in outpatient treatment, basically the patients in there teach you how to do it better. It's like jail, and how to beat the system. And also, I would have to call every week to see if my color pops. That means if your color is selected, you'd have to go pee in front of the probation officer, for all you people that haven't been arrested. And so the guy in the outpatient, he goes, "Next time your color pops, dip your finger in chlorine and pee on it, and it'll come out clean." So I call one day, and it's my color. So I go in front of the PO. I dip my finger in chlorine before the appointment, and I'm peeing all over the place. Just to let you guys know, that doesn't work. I see a few people from Tacoma that are on probation that are thinking about trying that. And while I was playing this game with myself, I ended up overdosing at a strip club while I was getting a lap dance. Yeah, the stripper stripped me of my pills, stripped me of my money, stripped me of my dignity, and I woke up in the hospital with a tube down my throat and a tube down something else that really hurts. And I wake up in the hospital, didn't even know where I was, and the doctor comes and says, "I almost died choking on my own puke." But that wasn't the crazy part, you guys. The crazy part was 3 days later, I was out drinking and doing coke again. Again. And I didn't want to come down and face myself because I knew that I was suicidal or crazy, probably both. And I remember coming down off that high and saying the most sincere prayer I've ever said in my life. And that's, "God, please help me. God, please help me." And I'm not gonna say I had a spiritual experience or anything, but something shifted. Because after that, while I was still on probation, I ended up finding stand-up comedy, you guys. Today, I'm doing what I love for a living. I'm doing it with all my friends. And I'm living my best life. So the moral of the story, you guys, is sell drugs and all your dreams will come true. No, the moral of the story, the real moral, is I don't know what you guys are going through right now, okay? But don't lose hope, because the worst thing that ever happened to you could be the best thing that ever happened to you. Right before the pandemic, you guys, I experienced a miracle. My dad finally came around, okay? Because he was so pissed off that I got arrested and was selling drugs while he was sending me to law school. Like, I would call him up and say, Dad, I need book money. I need more books. He goes, books again? But then I would buy drugs and sell it, like just stupid shit, right? And right before the pandemic, I had a show in my hometown here at a club down the street. And I didn't know if I wanted to invite my parents, just so much history and, all that stuff. And I didn't want the pressure of my parents seeing me live. And at that time, a friend of mine's mom had passed away. And she said she would give anything to hear her mom nag at her one more time. And so I didn't want any regrets. So I invited my parents. They came out, they brought 10 of their friends that didn't even speak English. They didn't even have a translator. Later on, I found out they brought those 10 friends because they thought nobody else was gonna be there. And it was a sold-out crowd, much like this. And right in the middle of my set, my dad stands up and starts filming me with one of those old school camcorders. He had a camera on his phone. And he had this giant camera. And you're not supposed to film at comedy clubs. And the security guard didn't kick him out because they knew he was my dad. And plus he doesn't listen because he's stubborn, like me. And so he just kept filming me during my set. And what I realized is he was that proud of me. He was that proud of me. He recently discovered Facebook, you guys. Yeah, and all of a sudden, he's like my biggest supporter. He writes on my wall, like, you are #1 comedian in the world. Very handsome man. Right? And it's embarrassing because he writes this shit like every day, the same with like really crazy emojis and like hearts and stuff. Like, I don't think he got the emoji game yet. And I erase it because it's embarrassing. But I thumbs up it first so he gets that notification because he hasn't figured out how to get on my profile yet. So, not that bad of a son. And one of my friends saw one of his posts and he goes, dude, you didn't even go to law school? How'd you get your dad to come around when you're just being a comedian out there? And I go, bro, it must be the end times. 'Cause my dad's finally come around and I'm doing this. And he's happy I'm a comedian, you guys. So give it up for my dad. Okay, that was the inspiration portion of my show. Now on to the sex stuff. I'm gonna do something that's never been done on a special, okay? I'm gonna let you guys decide what my next bit is gonna be, all right? Do you guys want a sex joke, a drug joke, or an impersonation? Okay, the white lady said impersonation. And we all know that white people's votes way heavier than everybody else's. A little election humor for you. Okay, this is my impersonation of Eminem at an AA meeting. This is Eminem at an AA meeting. 'Cause any man could jump in front of a minivan with 20 grand, a bottle of pain pills, and a mini thin. It's fucking crazy. You hear me? Hi. Hello. Marshall, alcoholic, that's all I can say. I call into work cause all I do is frolic and play. I swallowed 8 bottles of pain pills a day of Tylenol 3. Check out how violent I'll be. Take 7 Excedrin, my head is spin. My head is spinning like a 747 jet engine. Thank you, I've been practicing that since the Super Bowl. Okay, sex joke, drug joke, or the worst thing that I've ever done? Okay, I hear a lot of worst things that I've ever done. Okay, I'm not proud of this, and I've only told a few thousand people, so don't judge me. I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not, but us comedians, we also have groupies, except we call them chuckle fuckers. Or what I like to call ha-ha-hos. But before you guys think I'm bragging, like I don't get the good chuckle fuckers, you know what I mean? I get like the single moms that don't get out much. I get the girl that has like a weird Asian fetish that's into anime and K-pop. They're like, oh my God, you look just like BTS. And this is before I'm in a relationship. I wanted to qualify that before I tell this story. So one night I take this girl home and she's a single mom. I know she's a single mom because there's a baby crib right in the middle of her apartment. No, the baby wasn't in it, Prince. Don't be weird. And, you know, I do the deed. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I'm Korean, but I orgasm in Japanese. It's like, nan desu ka? Oba-san, gohan kudasai. The crazy part is that means grandmother, give me some rice in Japanese. And you guys laughed at that. Only Japanese I know, because I'm Korean. And then I came on her back, and I went into the bathroom, you know, because I'm a gentleman, looking for like a towel, or maybe some toilet paper or something, and nothing was to be found. The only thing left on the shower door was a little baby bib. And it had a little dolphin on it. Do I really have to finish this story right now? Thank God the mask mandate didn't come back. Give it up for that, the dumb mask mandate. It was the dumbest rule because you wear the mask into the club or restaurant and you take it off right when you get your water and food. That's like wearing a condom during foreplay and taking it off right before you stick it in. That's how I do it right there. Just like, any conspiracy theory people here? How come the biggest conspiracy theory people are like the people that have the least to lose? You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, they're like, I'm not gonna get Amazon, Alexa. They're gonna listen to everything that I'm saying and track me. I'm like, bro, you live in your mom's basement, okay? I don't think the government is tracking your every move, you know what I mean? You deliver pizzas, okay? Well, maybe they might be checking if you have real cheese at your place, if you will. I just went to the strip club here. Someone said, I'm sorry. Did I see you there? She's the one who jacked me of my pills and my money. No, I went on a Tuesday, which you should never do, because it's all the B chicks there. You know, the ones with like the Caesarean scars and like the prison tattoos that have like a limp. And they don't have like the good DJ with like the turntables. They have that like whack DJ with like the iPad that they just push play, you know, and all it does is play whatever song comes on shuffle, right? And what was funny is this girl comes up to the wrong song. She came up to, I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Really? No tips, Prince? Why you no tip? It's the end times. Anybody married here? How long have you two been married?
36 years.
36 years. Okay, well, give it up for them. 36 years. I wish marriage was more like buying a car. You know what I mean? Because at least when you buy a car, they give you like some instructions and a manual, right? When you get married, they're like, here's the keys. Be careful out there. Just don't crash, all right? And even if they did have a manual and you looked it up for your wife or your woman and looked in the manual because you got a check engine light, right? It would say it could be any one of these 998 things. And then if you hooked us guys up to a diagnostic, there'd be only 3 error messages available. It'd be like, I'm hungry, I'm horny, and I'm hungry and I'm horny. And if you hooked your wife up to the diagnostic, it would be only 1 error message that's available. And it would be, you should know what the problem is, if you will. And I think part of the problem is we don't have any role models for marriages, right? The only role models we have are like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, Kim Kardashian and Chris Humphries, Kim Kardashian and Damon Thomas, Kim Kardashian and Ray J. Actually, Ray J only took a test drive, so I take that one back. But he did make quite a demonstration video, so we'll give it up for him on that. And also, everything we learned about marriage, we learned on watching the Brady Bunch. You guys remember that show? Except the dad was secretly gay, and the mom was sleeping with one of the kids. And the kids were sleeping with each other. So for all you young people that don't know what the Brady Bunch is, it's like the category stepsister on Pornhub, except with a lot worse acting, if you will. Yeah, marriage isn't for me, but I did come close, you guys. My girlfriend moved in at the worst possible time in history. She moved in right before the pandemic. Yeah, and when you're quarantining together, you find out you're not good at stuff that you didn't even know you were good at, like laundry. Yeah, one day I got called in by HR, AKA my girlfriend, and she said I was folding the towels incorrectly. Which I think is kind of racist because she thought just because I'm Asian, I'm gonna be good at folding laundry. I think she thought I was gonna fold the towels like little origami animals or something. And it wasn't even one of our good towels, you guys. It was our cum towel. Every couple has their cum towel. See this couple right here? They got 100 cum towels. That's why they're still married. She got mad about the most disrespected linen in our whole house. This towel is no longer soft enough to be a bath towel. It's not tattered enough yet to be a car wash towel. So it sits in that weird towel purgatory where its sole purpose is to soak up semen. So basically it's a Kardashian. I did all that just to get to that. And to get to my exclusive, Jimmy comes home, cum towels. And just for tonight only, after the show, I will be selling them $10 new and $20 used. It'll only take me 3 minutes to make a used one. Ask my girlfriend. Yeah, thank God everything's open again. I'm touring and leaving home a lot, so I got my girlfriend the gift that keeps on giving, you guys. I got her a vibrator. Because trying to give a woman an orgasm without the Hitachi magic wand is like trying to put together a Rubik's Cube. You know what I mean? It's like this, it's like... She goes, there's the green side. You just can't win. And I'm not gonna lie, when I'm home, I like to use it too. No, not on myself, Prince. Easy, Tiger. I like to use it on her because I get lazy. You know what I mean? Trying to give a woman an orgasm is like trying to put together a Rubik's Cube, but when you use that, all it is like playing a video game with a cheat code. It's like AB, AB, 1, 2, 1, 2, start. She comes in like 3 minutes, like I do. And then we could go watch our favorite TV show, 90 Day Fiancé. You know what I'm saying? You know what else is difficult when you are quarantining and living with your girlfriend? It's difficult to masturbate, I'm not gonna lie, and have some time alone. Prince likes to have some time alone once in a while. You're gonna be all over my special, don't be mad. And one night, I finally had some time alone, because she went to go get some supplies at Costco. And I brought out the good porn, you know, with the fetish shit you don't want people to see. I brought out the good lotion. You know, the kind of lotion that costs like $50 with glitter in it. Prince knows, he's got some on right now. I don't know how he got it on his chin, but I don't ask questions. I think she's gone for a while, so I get the party started. But right when I get it going, she texts me and says, I'm on my way home. Except she doesn't say how far she is. So being the risk taker that I am, I want to see if I could pull it off. But right when I get it going, every time I hear a noise coming from outside the door, I waddle over to the peephole. And I don't want to stop because I got this party started, right? And right when she comes, so do I. And I could finally say, we came together. And when she walks in, I'm just washing my hands, wiping it off on the cum towel, and folding it up like a little origami animal, like they always wanted me to do. That's been my time, you guys. I love you, Tacoma.